Journal reading for Tonya from the Whisper of Love Oracles. The first one said, listen with your heart. The second one, consider your foundation. The last one is actions speak loudly. You do listen, but this card is saying that you're not listening without the noise. You're not listening without attachment. You're not listening without influence. You're not listening without your judgment. You're not listening without something else. What that is. Can I guess the specific words? Is there any more? No, you guys are playing with me. Okay. So there are a lot of things that you're listening with so much thing included. So therefore you're not really listening. And that is the culprit of unable to get in touch with your higher self, unable to get the right alignment with the universe. So you have to identify all of those attachments that you put on yourself. You know, it is nobody can make you do anything that you don't want to. Nobody can change the way how you feel. Nothing can change the way how you feel. You are the one in control of your own self, how you want it to be. So I hope that you can understand that you can ignite your own free will if you so choose to. That is your greatest gift, Tonya. Your free will, your determination, your willingness to change, to transform, whatever that is, as long as you can identify all of those things that are not in your favor when it comes to listening to the truth. Consider your foundation. How committed are you to love? You are committed, but I feel like you're committed to the wrong type of love. What is love? That is a very tricky thing to even explain in this world where people are so looking up to their family, to their parent, to their grandparent generation, to the movie that they portray in the character about love. And then people are trying to give you love, and then you get an impression from that what love is really about. But is that really truly the love that this card is trying to say about pure love? So how can you tell if it's pure love or it's just another type of love that humans created out of their own belief system of what love's supposed to be? You have to discern that. What is pure love? Pure love have no noise. Pure love have no judgment. Pure love have no negative emotions involved. Pure love is nothing to do with personal gain. Pure love does not have anything to do with the external side of it that need to codependent on someone or something to have love. Pure love just exists on its own. It is always in this universe. And that's what this law of attraction is also about. If you're going to practice some tender love, and that's what you're going to get. If you have insecurity in love, what you're going to get? Fear. Whoever you're interacting with, whatever thing you're going to interacting with, you want to close your heart. You want to be protective about, maybe through doubt, maybe through, what else is this I'm trying to say? Questioning, doubt, questioning, being suspicious about this individual or in this thing. You see what I mean? I mean, it's tender love. That's not pure love. When you're engaging in that type of negativities. So That's what it's trying to tell you. You're committed to the wrong kind of love. That is not the truth from the universe. You know, love exists for a long, long time, even before the human race on this earth. It just humans just interacting so much. They keep creating their own kind of things, and then they lost the truth about love. So they keep thinking, oh, love should be this, love shouldn't be that. You know, they keep telling you that, whether you get direct information or indirectly hearing or even watching somebody, right? Having a so-called love relationship, why they're not working out? Because of darkness enough. Darkness enough is just a broad terminology, but I'm just gave you an example of what happened, right, previously. So there's so much more complexity in this dark world. So the last card here, actions speak loudly. Express your love through actions. Is it really action that you need to express love? Perhaps you don't even need to do it to express love at all. But do you feel the right kind of love in you to let that guide you through your everyday life? If you become this pure love, you don't need to show it to anybody. It just gonna appear. It's gonna be so prominent in your behavior. It's gonna be so prominent in your language. You don't even need to like deliberately, oh, let me give you a heart. Let me give you some compliment. No, you deserve something, good. To give that kind of expression. You don't need that anymore. If you really become this love, the language, it's become so caring. Your language, it becomes so warm. People automatically feel that vibe in you. You don't need to say, oh, let me give you a heart. Let me help you with this. You don't need that. You don't need that kind of action to express that pure form of love. Because when you become this love, it is everything that you do, every single thought, everything that you say, every single behavior, it's become love. It shines through this light. It shines through others as well. You don't need to care about how others react to that. Tonya, when you become this love, because you don't answer for anyone, you don't answer for anything. So I hope you see what this pure love is all about. It is all coming from unconditional love. It just people in this dark society has conditioning love so much they don't even understand what love is, why love hurt, why love always give me emptiness, why love is always sad, why there is no true happiness. I must condition my life now to protect myself. You see that kind of negative language coming from because this person have go through so much experiences, unpleasantness to close the heart, no understanding what pure love is from. And I'm glad to end here. I hope this helped you to understand what kind of love that you need to nurture for your own self. And may you find life from your spiritual guardian. Okay, and this is a twin frame energy waiting for Tonya, and those are the decks showing here. Let me channel a little bit to see how it wants to go here. Let me put this aside here. And this is the let me see, this is a clover number 2. Let me go to, I haven't used this deck frequent enough to, but used to use it a lot. Luck, happiness. This is talk about happiness. But let me see. This card go with this. It's talk about awareness, crystal clear visions. Lack of awareness of what causing the unhappiness. That's what I'm getting here. Even though this person feels sad, feel lonely, but not understanding why, because of lack of awareness, because there's a lot of cause and effect in everything that happened to this which who am I talking to here? Am I allowed to channel? It is all about the divine feminine. Am I allowed to point out who is the divine feminine in this? Not yet. Okay, I'm just keep it like that. This is for the divine feminine. Okay, twin flame is a pair of soul. One's called divine feminine, the other one's called divine masculine. This is a divine feminine, okay, energy for that individual. I'm not allowed to identify. Maybe along the end of the reading, I don't know. Okay, up to your spiritual guardian. But to understand divine feminine, that twin flame is more spiritual inclined. Divine masculine is more physically inclined, but doesn't mean they are not like spiritually or physically having those perspective. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So let's keep it that way. Don't complicate any DF and DM terminology here. So that's what's happened to divine feminines, okay? Not understanding, don't know how to connect, what happens, going through all those life events, what encourages the loneliness, what encourages unhappiness in that. So it's just having these emotional triggers and don't know how to fix the problems, don't know how to release those negative feelings. But before you can do that, you have to identify how those negative feelings are connecting back to those day-to-day life events. Perhaps there's some specific life event long time ago that this person has forgotten about it, that triggered the initial negative feelings. And over time, and that's mutated because this person allowed this negative emotion to be in that sacred space, so it keep practicing it keep nurturing that negativity, and then you use it, then that person use it then to continue to have triggers, by some sort of other life events. Okay, so therefore that kind of feeling keep evolving into sadness and loneliness. So I hope you see that build up of those intense negative feelings. And I'm picking up this person sometimes have anxieties because of that lack of acknowledgement, okay? A lack of awareness, to lack of that clarity to do something positive about that. So I hope that makes sense why it's not just happening to this twin flame pair, but that happened around this entire world. Not understand why suddenly people have anxiety. Anxiety is just a surface level, but the complexity behind it, it's everyone have different life story. Okay, this divine feminine certainly have her own life story as well. Okay, so let me move on to card number 36 here, the cross. Burdens. This cross is like a burdens, it's like a sufferings. It remind me of Jesus Christ story, carrying the cross and then being nailed on it and then pass away like that. Okay, that's the name. That's just Jesus Christ story. I mean, that's called suffering, the burdens, right? But just a symbolism on this card. Let me move on. This is a king divine masculine. Okay, I even have a divine masculine card here, so that definitely about DM. I call it shortcut. Okay. And let me go to specifically to the guidebook because there's a 3 different session here. And let me see, this is the aqua, red, olive, 79. What's going on with him? Creating space. This is about perhaps this individual keep creating space for burdens, personal ownership, whatever he is going through in life. Perhaps he's taking this ownership from a physical perspective and forget that, hey, this is just a physical life form. Have you forgotten you have a soul inside of you? I mean, it's just a question to him. You know, so you're carrying all this burden from a physical perspective of life, and you don't know how to nourish your spirit self. And that is a culprit of this. It's stuck in this mindset to think that's how you should live your life like this forever. So until something is going to happen to him, either he's going to have to speak the truth one day, or he's going to get a very serious dark night of his soul to erupt him from the inside out to face this idea of living. This is a false idea of living from a physical perspective, and forget that you have a soul inside. Shouldn't you nurture yourself with happiness, with self-confidence, with self-love in that regard? Why are you letting life event to burden you, whether it is related to your own self or related to other, even related to job quite significantly? And I'm just getting the word job on top of my head. So it's just become a routine practice for him, like a habitual pattern, like not realizing, oh, why is this so stressful one day? Why is this so nerve-wracking one day? Why am I worried one day? Why am I in a hurry one day? All that negativity. He keep going through all this same old pattern, going through this so-called cycle. You get triggered by all this cycle, all those negativity I just mentioned about him. So that's keep happening. So it's up to him to realize that is not considered normal, like everybody's telling you, or everybody's experience the same thing like you do. You see what I mean? So it's up to him to wake up himself to say, hey, I can do something positive about all those negativities I'm experiencing right now. I don't have to keep holding on to it. As long as I have the awareness that I can make the change, the inner self transformation, that has to be coming from inside, not from the outside. That's the whole purpose about this DM right now, that he really need to work on that. But I feel like there's a divine timing that he has to go through a dark night of his soul to realize that, hey, this is getting way too old. There has to be an end point of this. Otherwise, you're going to keep hitting on the wall over and over again. Am I allowed to move on? Okay, this is, let me move this down here. I think this is extra from your spiritual guardians you need to talk about. Okay, this is card 24. Feels like a love card here, but let me double check. So the heart is supposed to be a form of happiness and love. It is that feelings. And let's talk about this devotion. I feel like it's more like a spiritual devotions. And you guys are in separations. At times, no reason or it has been sometime already in separation. Still is the status of this twin flame pair is still in separation, okay, for some time. I'm not sure exactly how long. So is there any more to emphasize here? Enduring love. Triggers, fluctuations, sometimes inflexibilities into this love feelings. There's a fixation into something, perhaps obsessions, perhaps possessions as well. So I'm just talking about the energy between you two, okay? So I don't know which party has more or what, or maybe both of you have something sharing the same similar thing, right? So those are not a good type of commitments to have when you're dealing with darkness in this type of love. Even though twin flame is supposed to be spiritual, it's supposed to be coming from unconditional love, but you guys are here on earth to shine your light, to reverse all those darkness. That's why you're going through all those triggering. Doesn't matter with each other or together. I mean, excuse me, whether you're with each other or on your own. You're being triggered by emotion every day. Both of you, okay? So you have to learn what are those darkness that you're holding on to. What it is that you both still need to heal in order to reverse that. So in order to ignite the unconditional love, like what the first reading I'm talking about for you, Tonya. I mean, that is a great reading for both of you to understand unconditional love. How powerful unconditional love is, because that type of love have no boundary between you two. Doesn't matter what happened, doesn't matter how far distant that is. That soul love is always there. That connection, that bond is unbreakable. I hope that you understand. You don't no longer need to possess each other physically. Even though I haven't heard from you for a long time, I don't know what happened to you and so forth. But inside, at my soul level, I still wish you happiness. I still wish you the best, and I still love you unconditionally, no matter what. Because my heart tells me this is the true love. This is the greatest love in this universe that I couldn't ever, turn this back or try to regret it or try to say that you're not worthy of my time in the past. I hope you see that my point here. That's how powerful twin flame is when they can ignite their own unconditional love. And let me move on to this divine order, participation. I think it's talk about divine timing here. Everything, all those light events, the universe is trying to align to your soul energy. The more you work on your own self, the more your soul is ascending back to that vital energy by letting go all those negative emotions that I mentioned in this 2 reading. You are start aligning to this universe, that love energy that I'm talking about, that is always been in existence forever, that the human race has forgotten about. The more you align to that from the inside, the more the universe hear you. And that's when things start happening for you both. And I hope he understand that as well, that he need to work on himself as well, like you do, to align to this participation, right? You cannot anticipate anything. You cannot rush the process. You gotta wait for that divine timing to be in the cycling. So that way you can understand what it is that you still and he still need to work on. What kind of negativities that still need to heal in order to do that. So just focus on yourself. That's all you need to do. And make everything else does on its own. And that's how powerful this law of attraction is. There is no such thing manifestation, Tonya. Forget about what people are telling you out there about manifestation. Oh, put your personal desire in there and start manifesting. Think about it every day, to have that desire on your thoughts and feeling in your heart so you can manifest. That is not true. People are so much engaging in negativity, and that's what they're manifesting. Negativity. It's just waiting for divine timing until that's going to hit them in tenfold and thousandfold because of that negative energy they're using. And yeah, eventually it's going to cause anxiety as well, because a lot of people don't understand. Too much advertisement, too much promotion on manifestation. That isn't good for anyone, not good for you and not good for him. So I think I already made my point here. And this is the next one, compassions, higher heart opening, okay? The heart chakra. All those past experiences close both your heart, because tended by all this negativity. So therefore, it's hard to have light compassions. Why people only prefer to have compassion towards certain people, certain things, certain situations, certain environment. Oh, I prefer this. I believe in this. I believe cleaner environment. So therefore, they have so much compassion, put in that. They think that it's their passion for it, so they go extreme of it. Every time they see somebody throw in some trash right there, I'm going to go over there and teach that person lessons. I'm just giving you a hypothetical example here, okay? So is that language coming out of love, or you just being bossy? Because, you have this passion about cleanliness to save the earth, but you're not understanding of the true story behind that individual. You don't even want to go out and get to know this person, and then you just say blah, blah, blah based on what you believe in. You see that's not coming from unconditional love language. You're out of what? Fear, perhaps? This is a one-sided belief. Cleanliness can come from so many ways because government doesn't support recycling. So what do you expect that an individual do? And you go out and venting your negativity toward another individuals. So you see how that selfish, to me, this is a selfish compassions. And it's called dark compassions, no longer light compassions. So I'm giving you a very good example of that. You can apply this concept into your day-to-day life. How are you practicing dark compassion? So you can use that, okay? A lot of my readings to help people to use it, then you can apply to your everyday life. It's wise to go back and listen to my reading again, because a lot of people miss my point here. What I'm trying to teach here, to teach you something practical so you can use it in your demanding lifetime, okay? So open your heart with true compassion in the light. Remember, when you're lost in this compassion, both of you I'm talking about, make sure you can forgive, making sure you let this compassion that is not discriminating, not one-sided in, making sure that you both are practicing unconditional love now and forever. So I have this last card for you both. This is divine creativity, receiving cosmic intelligence. Let me go to the guidebook on this particular one. Page 99. Your soul will not rest until you surrender. align with your soul original blueprints. And that's what I've been talking about throughout these readings about your soul blueprints. You guys are born to be a love being. You guys are a light worker. If you want to call yourself a light worker, so be it. All train fans are just light workers, right? They're here to heal themselves, to learn what unconditional love is, so then they can contribute their light, contribute this unconditional love back to this dark society. Look, if this entire population are in darkness, guess what? If you twin flames are working on your own self, guess what? The more of you are doing that, the more light workers are in this dark population. That means eventually this entire 100% of dark population will turn into hopefully 100% light populations. Do you see how helping yourself, healing yourself is the greatest contribution to this dark society? You're leading by example with this unconditional love, with this true compassion, with this forever forgiveness, in your heart. So that way you can shine your light on others as well by doing nothing. But if there's a high calling for you to act on it, then do it, because you're also serving other as a catalyst. You can trigger other people's too, trigger the darkness so they can embrace, have the opportunity to aware of what kind of darkness they have. Then they can take that, hopefully, if they have spiritual awakening, to do something positive about their own darkness, like you are doing for your own self, Tonya, and your dream fam counterpart here. So I hope you see where this give and takes, all this cause and effect are going on, right? People are so self-consumed about their own immediate gratification. They don't see the bigger picture anymore, how they become a contributor to this dark society. And am I allowed to affirm this? And Tonya is you are the divine feminines in her counterpart in separation. And not allowed to confirm any further? The one that you mentioned, that's not her. That is not your twin flame, Tonya. There's someone else. The one that you mentioned about not talking about Thursday. There's someone else, someone that you knew in the past, in separation for some time. I think you're mistaken. I'm glad to end here. May you find life from your spiritual guardian. Journal readings for Lyndsey from Good Tell. This is a 3 of air. This is an angel here. This is a beautiful deck from Collective Barons. Seeing a lot of crowns here with birds. And then the angels lady here. But let me go to this 3 of air. It's a very soft deck. It's nudge people to positivity through affirmation here. Silver linings, natural departures, rejection, it's God's protections. Let me read this. I'm not sure if everything is applied to you, but I will channel that for you later on. A third party helps me to see the truth of this situation. What is truly mine can never be withheld from me. Rejection is spirit's protection. It's in my best interest to let go and allow for something better to take its place. It is my highest good to see the truth, regardless of my temporary discomfort. This too shall pass. Protection, rejection. It is about being rejected. Whatever that situation may be, Lyndsey, only you can tell when you feel having that rejected feelings. Perhaps what is this, anger? Perhaps there's embarrassment. Perhaps there is some sort of apprehensions. And I'm picking up there's more than just one light event in this lifetime that you are being rejected, feel rejected somehow, okay? But it trigger different type of negative feelings in you that I just mentioned, 3 different types here. But it is worth reflecting on. If it's still recently happening, perhaps you missed the opportunity to do your necessary inner work. Perhaps you're not realizing how deeply it has affected you, Lyndsey. So it's time to reflect on them throughout those negative feelings because of feeling being rejected. There's some underlying cause, from your past that needs to dig it up. And that's the only way to face that darkness in you. So you can start learning to heal through love, through compassion, and through forgiveness as well, especially when you're feeling angry. Perhaps you have some sort of false belief. Perhaps you have some sort of expectation. Perhaps you have certain value that cause you get stuck in the idea when you're not getting it and you're triggered by some other type of negative feelings. So despite this discomfort is temporary, it's going to keep triggering you over and over. Wherever that particular situation seems so familiar to trigger that emotion that you're still nurturing it and you're still practicing it, not realizing it, okay? So yeah, I don't like to use the term temporary, even though all negative emotions are temporary. But if you choose to make it, permanent, that is your own free will. That is your own choice, okay? Be mindful of that, how you could go dark by choosing that negative emotion to practice over and over again. I'm glad to end here for you. May you find light from your spiritual guardian. Twin flame Tonya using Chinese tarot deck here. A unique deck, one of a kind, and I got it. Let me see the Magicians, 3 of Swords, and then the last one is the 5 of Swords here. But let me take a closer look at this. Small visual interpretation here. Smoke, fire, anger. It caused Tonya anger in the past. Your twin flame, your divine masculine. You hated him. That's what I'm getting here. And you still haven't opened your heart to forgive him. Something about your past life as well. There's a past life story between you two, but it's not much for me to do a past life reading here in this reading. That has a lot to do with this karmic relationship from the past life. This is not just this lifetime anger, but in the past life that's already started it. This karma, so-called anger. I don't know who did what to whom, but I feel like both sides caused things to be out of proportions. Like one need to another. Like negative feelings fuel another negative feelings. So create this love and hate relationship between you both. It is quite deep at the soul levels. Should I mention anything about how it related in this lifetime? Because you choose to move on, to let it be, to forget about him. Yes, you choose to forget about him in this lifetime. Tonya, I did talk about him joining that twin flame energy. Perhaps you misinterpret what I said about, I don't want to repeat that, but feel free to go back to listen to it. You will find an answer in there. The Three of Swords. Hmm. Leaf, falling leaf, sadness, indicating the sore influences by family. Family was a major influence of the separation you both have. Was there a committed relationship at the time? It wasn't. It wasn't a committed relationship at the time. I'm talking about this lifetime here. But you met him through work related, but somehow he was influenced by family, whatever family value or culture actually. So had he never has the guts to ask you out. Oh, okay. He never had the guts to ask you out. So it was someone at her workplace. Yeah, it was someone at your workplace. So they didn't know each other. But it wasn't like a dating scene. It's not like a romantic scenes or anything like that. That's why you never pay attention to that, Tanya. So he has some family value. I don't know, different culture perhaps with you. So he didn't have the guts to really come forward to get to know you or even have a chance to ask you, hey, do you want to hang out or something like that. So I don't know, is he having regret? Little, because of this separations. Because of this separation. So you see, I mean, when your guardian say separation doesn't mean, oh, once upon a time you guys were dating and then you break up. Separation could means a lot of things. You could cross path to each other like a stranger and then suddenly separate. That's how twin fam can be like that. They have dozen event to cross path each other. Doesn't matter what that specific life situation might be. And then suddenly separate. Right? You never really went to each other again. I mean, that I feel like that kind of situation for you like this. Okay, but let me do Five of Swords. Seems chaotic in this. Like, it's not just influences, arguments, disagreements, like different level of intensity of unpleasantness, unhappiness going on in his life. And he's still trying to deal with that. Even job. Am I allowed to mention this? No, okay. So I don't know. It's a workplace issue, insecurity issue. Hmm. Even he has a some sort of past relationship issue with some sort of is it ex-girlfriend, and then we kindle again a few time with the same girl. So anything else that So he has to go through his path of learning about himself. Through all this, people can serve each other catalysts. That happens. Going through all of that. In relationship, he has to learn about him through other people if he's willing to, open that up to Willie. What does he really need to learn here, So you can have many soulmates in your lifetime, in your past lifetime, just to do that. Is there anything else to talk about here to have this question? Am I allowed to affirm that with her? No, it's divine timing is at stake here, Tonya. I'm not allowed to give you the person's name because you don't want to interfere his life, because everything is in divine order. I only could mention that once upon the time you met him at the workplace, okay? That's all I can mention that. But it's not like you guys are really knew each other deep enough to build a relationship on that. And perhaps you were mad. Perhaps he made you mad somehow. Maybe so trivial, it's not like something that you hold on to for someone that you don't even know deeply. That will be a clue, but I'm not here to affirm who that is. You don't want to interfere with this individual's twin flame journey. He has his own, and you have your own, okay? It is some information that you ask for. Your guardian is willing to give you this much, okay? So let's not anticipate who that is. But remember, it's more about focusing on yourself this time. Is everything, it's in divine order. Your spiritual guardians specifically asked me to tell you this. Everything, it's divine order. Cannot jump timeline, and you're not here to change someone's timeline, to interfere. Anyhow, you need to understand this higher purpose. Anything else that I need to tell Tonya here for this question reading? Guide you in here. May you find light from your spiritual guardian. Full Moon Introspection reading for Tonya from the Rose Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. Let me see the code of the sea here. Blueprint is within you. Take the next step. But let me go to the guidebook here. All you need to do now is take the next step. And tomorrow, take the next one too. If you continue to take baby steps each day, on a day not too far from today, you will look back and discover the most breathtaking garden of roses all around you. This is about little efforts goes a long way. You can accumulate a lot just by doing that, to bloom your own abundance within you. It's like shining your life within you. It's like food will follow. It's just talk about abundance will follow you as well on the outside when you have finally bloomed the abundance in you on the inside. Like I mentioned earlier, the law of attractions. You don't need to manifest anything at all. Let it do it on its own. Just by healing yourself. The blueprint is encoded within you. It is taught about your soul blueprints. It's full of energy. It has always made up of energy, your soul. It's just what you practice, either sink it or it's gonna ascend it. the negative emotions sink your soul vital energy. But that positive emotion coming from unconditional love will ascend your soul vital energy again, where you had lost it through all this, human lifetime, being a human being from lifetime after lifetime with all those karma, unresolved karma. So, and that's what it's trying to tell you, that to have this introspections, embrace heavy light event that is triggering you, to just do that is about seizing those opportunity. If you let one slide, that means you miss that one opportunity. Remember, a little efforts goes a long way, right? So hopefully the more that you realize how many opportunity that you have every day, even right now, you can just take that little baby step and release that negative feelings. Anything else for Tonya about this introspections? At the end here, may you find light from your spiritual guardian. Question readings between Tonya and Chris. Does he want to have a commit relationship? Okay, I'm using past life and the romance angel here. Interesting. Asia. Once up on the time you both were in this Asia continent. Talk about your past life. You both have past life together. Is there any specific story that she needs to know about? Quite charming in that lifetime. Talk about the synergy between you both, the chemistry. It's charming. And it gives each other a very good feeling because of this charm. Caste distinctions. You both had a different status. Like, for what is that? DF? D? Who is that? Talk about Chris or Tonya. Both died because of the difference about the status. Their status did not allow them to be together, but they went against that, or they got caught. They weren't that serious. They couldn't commit to openly to the public. And one day they got caught. The rumor spread to certain authority. Got arrested. Both of them got arrested. They caught treason at the time in that old day in that Asian continent. And they both got killed because of that. So maybe that's what this is, like a comic. We saw karma between you both. So there was a love between you both, but couldn't be openly to be accepted by others, by family. Because the culture, the whatever the value that people see that they're practicing at the time, that's quite deep here. And I feel like this is being replayed out in this lifetime as well, to try to heal comic this comic issue in the past life. Fear. Fear is not like you're afraid of each other. It's more like afraid of the society. fear of apprehension, fear of what other people will think about you both. This this nagging energy is like it's there, whether you guys are thinking about it, feeling about it, but I feel like this energy is always pulling you guys apart because of that past life. Until this security thing or that secrecy things that needs to let go, that kind of negative energy. I don't know which side having more of what, but both of you do have that in you, the secrecy, the the fear, like the image, how you both need to present it to the outer world, that needs to let go. You guys are fear of judgment, being judged somehow. I don't know who in his circle or who is in your social circle will want to say something about that. I'm not too sure how close that you guys are with that specific individual or with the family and so forth. Yeah. So something like that's going on. So it's hard to really put the word commitment in it, even though there's a strong feeling, right? The charming, especially the charm in there. So the next card saying there's an attraction. You It's like fully enjoying the moment. Like every time you guys are together, you fully enjoy the moment. There's always this special attraction, this special chemistry. You can't resist that. It's comfortable, it's like a comfort zone for you both. But at the same time, I feel like you're engaging in this habitual pattern as well, not understanding why from this first card, from this karmic situation from the past life that still haven't been resolved. So it's up to you both to work on your own self whenever you're being triggered by this relationship. So especially the fear. What can you both do to love yourself more? What can you both do to speak the truth about your own feeling, about your own self, about your feeling toward this relationship? Same will go with him as well. I mean, speaking the truth will be necessary. It's from that throat chakra. Is this being blocked? Is it being stuck? Is this too heavy, too much burden? Perhaps there's too much noise inside of each of you that haven't let go of those influences. Influences don't have to be just specific individuals, what I mentioned earlier. It could be that specific negative emotions still won't go away because of lack of inner work, lack of realizations. Anything else that might, the image tied to the self-esteem, the approval on the outside, causing the self-esteem issue, causing self-love issue. If the outside matter more than how you feel about your own self, that needs to be asked. Each of you need to ask your own self that. So any more about Chris, especially something about Chris? The feelings, the roles. He needs to feel his own sacred space with self-love. Something is pulling him out of that. He has a hard time finding his own passions in life. When noises are in his head, is surrounding his environment. He doesn't have his own sacred space to discover who is Chris inside, or is he still not recognizing that He's under so much influences that he can actually let that go. He can let that energy go, that feelings that's not serving his greatest good if he would desire to release that. Because love is stand for love. Love is not just about Rose is not just about romantic love. Self love is so critical. I feel like he needs that now and forever. If he's not willing to build a foundation, he's gonna lose it. Like recently, he has an episode of anxiety, perhaps some nervous system issue, not realizing that he's lacking that self love. That's one of the root cause of the issue that triggered that. Drugs? Is there anything related to that? He's taking some sort of pills to help him calm down or something. That's what I'm picking up. I'm not sure exactly what kind of pill he's taking. Could be prescribed or could be over the counter or something. It just caused him to divert his inner issue, not having adequate self-love or not having proper self-love. If he's going to continue to divert this way, it's not going to help him. It's going downward path, So he need to ease it off from the pills and help himself. How is he conditioning his life? How is he allow the outer voices to get to him? I feel like family might be have a lot of family value, the way he's growing up, how that environment affect him to make him think, oh, that you should be this way when you grow up or something, like somebody telling you this, that's what you're supposed to be. Obligation, that's what I'm hearing. Somebody force obligation on him or something. I don't know what kind of culture he is in, but if that's not good, if that's what he feel like life is just a burden, such a responsibility, but that's gonna hard for him to find his own authentic self, to find his true passion. It's very difficult for him to ignite his own self love. It's robbing his confidence. So I hope he listened to this reading if you want to share with him to understand what's going on. So any more about this attraction card? Celtic. Standing Pacific. Is there another past life together? Oh, you both have another past life together, Maybe that's why you guys are so like can get over each other, So when the more past life that you have together, the more familiarities that you guys have, So let's see what's going on. Once upon a time, is there a storyline in this? That it's in Europe, Celtic, and I think people know it's coming from England, perhaps. Is it from Irish? I don't know if it's from Irish or not, but it's probably part of England in Europe, okay? That part is Celtic. You want to tell her the period? Is it the 1800s? Before? What is that 18? I'm seeing 800s? Is that AC or DC time? AC? 800 AC. That's extremely long time. Is it AC? BC? I get confused between those. Is this like a current period? So it's BC? No, it's AC. After Christ, okay? So 800 is not BC. So it's a new no, this is 2026. So you go back to 800, right? I want there, okay? I don't have the specific channeling for that, but it just give you a general idea from your spiritual guardian. So you both were, whoa, okay, all right. I need you, Tonya, focus on breathing so you're not creating something here. So that way I'm not reading your minds, okay? Just focus on yourself so I can channel the story for you. Don't create anything, okay? Just calm down. Let your emotion release. Stay calm. Be still while I'm channeling the story through your portal, okay? So they're in the BC around 800s. Something. No, AC. I'm sorry. Don't interfere with me. Don't influence me. I need to be clear. It's AC current calendar in England. And they both were siblings. Is this the same parent? Yes. And that's why you guys were close at that time? Oh, is this like a sister sibling? He wasn't even so sister. So interesting, okay? That's how close you guys close, but in regard to like being sister, right? But however, you both also argued, fighting about what? Men at youth? Or boys at youth, maybe, I don't know how old, maybe teenagers? Childhood to adolescence? They often thought about boys. Oh, okay. Because they have disagreement or they like somebody. Both. It depends on who that individuals you guys were arguing or fighting about. So I don't know every single situation, but I'm feeling both. Either like, dislike, different own opinion, might not be love feelings. It could be something else, okay? It could be own opinions about the individuals that you guys have disagreements. So you guys are opinionated individual, quite determined about what you think and what Chris think. You both have your own independent thoughts, independent reaction toward whoever that individual might be. Anything else about that story? Become a rivalry as they grow older? Why is that? Oh, they both felt enough with the same men. Men, pearls, fell in love with the same guys. So, so you guys become a rivalry because of that reason. But I don't know, is it at the same time? But there's some complexity in the story. It's not me to channel here. Perhaps fell in love with the same guy at different timeline, or at the same time sometime, and one there. Perhaps one of you have relationship with the other, and then there's some betrayal going on as well, like three parties going on. Oh, that's what so that's what caused the hate, build the hate between sister. Oh, sometime manipulation involved. It's not just betrayals, but lies to each other's, lie to each other's face, try to manipulate the truth. So this is quite deep. So there's some hate built up in that long, long ago. Is there anything else? Death? Something happened. What happened? Tonya, the sister, stabbed Chris, caused him to die in that lifetime. So this is quite deep here. This this karmic relationship, is it out of anger, out of hate, and she haven't, as of today, in this lifetime, haven't forgiven, you haven't forgiven Chris in that past life. And this is a tragedy in that long, long time ago. At that soul level that you both experienced it, being family and turned into this that forgiveness, that hate because of suppressions, because she hasn't had the awakening yet at that soul levels for Tonya to realize that she actually hate Chris the soul levels. The love feeling Tanya's feeling for Chris right now is just fantasy. That's what I'm getting. The word fantasy. You are manifesting this love through emptiness inside of you. You haven't dealt with your void. You are like holding on to him like a, what do you call that? A boat that you can get on so you won't sink with that emptiness inside of you. You're holding on to him like a codependency type of love, and start pulling out this past life karma to work on it with, you know, so you're not realizing that deeper void in you, that love. I think it's worth going back to listen to all those reading that I did for you earlier. I think it's talk about love. How can you ignite this love? How can you not be so empty anymore? Through all those past life healings. I hope you're taking advantage of this lifetime just to do that, to make peace about the past, not to suppress that deeper feelings anymore. I need to say about this, the commitment between you two, it's about this karmic relationship. The more you both are willing to work on this unresolved karma, the more you can grow independently, the more you can grow in your own authentic self, so that way you guys don't have to get stuck in these negativities. He has to deal with his own thing, and you have to deal with your own thing as well about the self-love issue. I feel like you both are mimicking this self-love like a mirror, lacking the self-love, you know. So yeah, try not to project on each other on that. Otherwise, you both are going to get stuck in that. He's stuck in his own. You stuck on your own, not wanting to heal your own self. And that's the only way. I mean, through healings. Like, yes, try not to project this fantasy of love that you have on him. to create this, it's like repeating pattern, repeating cycle I'm seeing here with him. I think you should able to tell the habitual pattern that you both are creating for each other. So when it commitment, it's what's that? What is there to commit in this way in relationship? Nothing. Your spiritual guardian. It isn't about commitment in this lifetime. Wherever you guys want to mend to become the greatest best friend, so be it. Whatever that is that you guys want it to be. Like you said, you didn't define it, you didn't label it. Perhaps that is the spiritual sign for you both. Perhaps it's all this time not to label this relationship because it's so deep already. You both have like at least 2 past life together with all these karmic issues that you need to deal with. So heal that. Be independent and see what's come between you two. But right now it's about focusing on healing so you don't have to stuck in this karmic energy together. Yeah, but realize that he's dealing with his own problem. You're dealing with your own problems, Yeah, that's why it's causing all this in and out, relationship things. Is there anything else that So, is there anything else about this? Best leave? What does the guardians want to tell Tonya here? Oh, Tanya's desires? Tonya is manifesting it through her desires. Okay, I need to stop here, Tonya, because it's not something to answer for you. Anything else? I'm glad you ended here. May you find light from your spiritual guardian. If I'm waiting for Tonya from spell casting, I'll have answers, well-being, and good luck. I need to go to guide form. Answers. Seeking too much answers. And why? What is Tanya's intention of seeking all those answers through the spiritual realm? I think the divine upstairs is asking you this. You need to answer that yourself, Tonya. What is your motives? What is your intention? What is the driver that drive you to just ask for answers instead of living your life, instead of flow through whatever that life events that you're encountering from day to day? Sending more for the first card. Your guardians tell me this is a divine warning for you not to step outside of that. You cannot seek clarity when it comes to heal and move forward, Tonya. This is all self efforts when it comes to healing. Nobody can do that for you. Not through these readings. You are going through quite a bit of spiritual awakenings through the reading that I did for you. The more that I do for you, the more codependency that you're going to have. And that is a big no-no for you. You're going to stuck in cycle over and over again, and you will never able to heal through readings like this. You have to be on your own. And I know that you have a strong gift and you know it. And yet you're not doing the inner work. Even right now you're being triggered. Are you aware of that? And you're not diving deep enough to feel your own emotions, to understand your intention of using cards. And let me move forwards because you're resisting this reading. Well-being. You need to be more adaptable instead of stuck in what you know, tool that you know, information that you already know, like still asking for answers. They don't serve your greatest good. You cannot anticipate. You're trying to anticipate over and over again. It's not going to work out. It's going to backfire one day. You're going to walk in a huge circles, not when to step forward with your destiny. The huge circles could mean so many things, Tonya. It's not me to tell you. I'm not here to read your future. I don't like to use my gift to read people's future. I've been telling people, the more future you're trying to anticipate, the more free will you're willing to give up, creating endless negative energy over and over. It's going nowhere. I mean, if that's the path of what you want, I mean, I don't need people to come here to support me. Just be aware of that. I have my own path. People think they should come and support me, but that's not the reason why I'm here, okay? I have other higher purposes I don't discuss with people. People are asking me, oh, why is your life cycle is not so active? Why shouldn't you be? You're so accurate with all your readings. That's not the reason why I'm doing this, you know. I have other reasons. I have my own life path to take. I'm not here to explain to people why I'm doing life cycle readings. So the whole point I'm trying to make is I don't anticipate life. And why you so anticipate your life? Do you know anticipation? It's like creating some fiction for your future. You don't want to have your own free will to decide how, when you're encountering something, what is your decisions that you want that to be. Reading, it's just like giving you a fixed thing, like a fixed item A, when there's so many other possibility like B, C, D, E, F items on there that you can actually, decide what that's going to be for yourself. So therefore, don't try to do so much readings. Even you're doing it for yourself or somebody's doing it for you, Tonya, it is not good, okay? The more you ask about yourself, the more you don't create more confusion. A lot of people like try to get the same reading over and over, like using different psychic readers. They're all gonna come out to be different answers. Is there any more about the well-being that she needs to know? Adapt. That's why you need to be adaptable. You need to be fixable. Don't fixate it on tool. Don't fixate it on information, as I mentioned it earlier. And that's what you're trapping yourself in, and you're not realizing about your emotions that motivating you to do that. There's personal benefits that you're trying to gain out of it. Yeah, it sounds like healing, but that's not really healing. So, Tonya, I think you got the wrong idea about healing. Healing doesn't work for readings, through psychic. Healing doesn't work for getting answer from your spirit guide. You know, healing is about your inner awareness. What kind of darkness do you have? Are you aware having emotional triggers? And I feel like right now you don't. And your spiritual guardian agree with me on that. You're not aware of your motivation, what emotions driving you seeking psychic, what driving you to do your own reading, pulling card or so forth. Okay, you're not aware of that, and you need to go deeper. You need to stop doing activities. The more you do, the more you're pulling yourself from your inner world. You're just shifting your focus on the outside. You're not doing the inside work. You're still having a lot of emotional reactions. You still have a lot of emotional triggers. I don't think you're aware of that. Sure, you got the service, but you're not like connecting to it enough to really do the necessary inner work. That's why you stuck on codependency. You know, it's another codependency. Codependency come in so many forms. I'm not here to tell you all of them. It's impossible for me to tell you all of them. It is something that you need to be flexible and learn it through your life encounter on your day-to-day life. You cannot anticipate, oh, get this information, can I apply this or not? It doesn't work, okay? It doesn't work this way. So let's move on to the last card. Good luck. Hmm. Outlook. Is this a message from her spiritual guardian? It wants to tell you good luck with this spiritual journey. Good luck with this life path you're taking, wherever you decide at the moment. Good luck with the fortune. I don't know why the fortune come to me. Hmm. Are you seeking some type of fortune? It's like good luck with that, but doesn't mean it's a positive thing. I'm not getting a positive vibe out of this statement from your spiritual guardian. Good luck with the opportunities as well. Wherever that you're seeking, it is not being blessed by the divine. That's what I'm getting. That's why it's telling you good luck with that, wherever your choices that you make in this lifetime. Is there any more for Tonya here? I'm glad to end it here. May you find light from your spiritual guardian from this divine reading. Divine readings from Elemental Oracle for Chanel here. First card, Self, Adventure. I got a couple cards here. Let me put it down here. Then the expansion note. But let's do one at a time here. Adventure, Self. Johnny Geiger for this. Take a leap of faith here. Chanel. Being adventurous is not about go do risky things or travel to another country in that nature. Adventure just meaning get out of your zone, get out of your comfort. You need to go deeper into something than what you see and what you feel or what you hear. In regard of that, using your physical five senses, sensations, so called. You need to go beyond that. Understand your soul levels. Be more adventurous about that to find out who you are, Chanel. This is about moving the south node to your north node, expansions. The authentic version of you is waiting for you in the north node. Even if you search for north node in astrology, it tells you that as well. The south node is just your past life karma. The north node is your true self. That's what you're supposed to move your life journey from the south to the north. I'm not talking about the direction of the earth on the map, okay? How are you going to expand yourself? Be adventurous about yourself. Are you learning soul lessons? Are you having personal growth? Are you having emotional wellness? Have you tapped into your spirit self every day to ask yourself, how do you feel, Chanel? The people, the environment, the way you see yourself. Do you hear your inner voice? Do you feel your soul is talking to you? How does your soul feel? Or are you just using your mind so much that you cannot sense your own soul? Do things feel familiar? Sound familiar? Like, oh, deja vu. Or, some people say, oh, why does this sound so familiar? I've been here before. Why does this like events like I have encountered once upon a time in my life before? You know that they call it deja vu, right? Have you ever had that kind of, situation? Why is that, Chanel? Your soul have traveled life journey. Is this really the only life journey that you have? Unless you don't believe in reincarnation, right? Your soul. Things just don't happen like in this lifetime. You gotta ask your soul that. How are you expanding it? Or are you just bound by your own ego on the outside, living in a physical perspective of light? What about the spiritual perspective of light? So this is something that it is not so much about questioning. It is about expanding your inner awareness. Yeah, you have a lot of awareness on the outside because, that's all you see through your eyes. That's all you hear with your ears. That's all you smell through your nose. And yeah, you taste it through your mouth. But that's on the external side of life. That's the physical perspective of life. But what's about your inside? How are you expanding from within your inside? Then you have to talk to your soul, right? I'm not saying literally talking to your soul, but I'm just saying you have to figuratively talk to your soul. Perhaps through quietude, perhaps through stillness, to see if there's anything coming through. Or it's okay. Maybe sometimes you need to declutter your mind because your mind is in the way. Because if you're a thinker, do things with your, because you think you're using your brain, but doesn't mean you're using your soul. So there's a difference between those two, okay? So you just have to learn how to turn that off in order to shift your focus on the inside, in order to increase your inner awareness. It doesn't matter if there's anything coming through in there or not, but having quietude, it's will bring for clarity. Sometimes, things, why you suddenly know something. Perhaps there is clarity. Perhaps there is a quietude. And suddenly you have this higher knowing about something, okay? It is not something you can ask for that. It is your soul. You cannot ask your soul, hey, give me the information. It doesn't work that way, okay, Chanel? Some people are doing that. But that's not the case here. Your soul, you don't need to ask your soul, but some people use their eye chakra to think they can just do that, but that's not the intention of it. There's no such thing. Your soul belongs to you. It doesn't belong to anybody, okay? just because your ego gets in the way, because the external life is so what was that what's a better way of saying too captivating, too interesting, so they're sucked into physical perspective of light, and they just don't acknowledge they have a soul inside, so so be mindful of that, okay? So the next one is beginning is, okay? And then let me do this next card as well. It's also building atoms. Beginning. Inner awareness is really a new beginning. It is up to you to activate this, it's having quiet, to having stillness, to have clarity. You cannot just work on clarity. It's about decluttering, because you stuff yourself with so much information, so much artificial things. A lot of stuff are created by humans. There are a lot of artificial stuff. I'm pretty sure you use them as well, Maybe you eat some of those artificial stuff. Are you aware of that? I mean, we use it, toothpaste, so chemicals, a lot of stuff are human mixed up. They're not good for, it's not our true nature. Sure, sometimes are more advanced, sometimes they work because people getting sick, they need to take those whatever to prevent, right, further illness. But I'm not saying science advancement isn't great, but sometimes they just take it to the extreme to become more harmful to our true nature. And it's just that, oh, it's just a low dosage. They all say that. You're going to flush it out in your system. But that's not true when you using dozens of them. What's the amount of accumulation of that? Nobody to talk about that. So I'm just talking about your inner awareness, okay, of your true nature. You have to discern what is artificial, what is the truth, nature. I mean, even nature can be artificial. Oh, this is natural. That's all they, promote. This is natural, but this is really the true nature, okay? So be mindful of that. Building atoms, buildings. I feel like this card is about rebuilding. It's more like rebuilding yourself. This is not, yeah, you've been building a lot through your outer world, but what are you building on the inside? You need to ask yourself, what have you been building on the inside? Quite a bit of emotions. Are you noticing you have certain emotions and you react certain way? Do you notice you have certain characters? Are those really your character, or you just got reinforced by something, someone's certain situation or even environment to enforce that, to cause you to, some people might say, hey, seriousness. Is it really a true character? Probably not. Why would someone be serious? Maybe something got reinforced for this person to be serious. I'm just giving you an example of that, you know? So you got to understand, you got to go back to your entire lifetime to see how you grow up. Is there some sort of standard value, maybe even something that you might be observing or triggering you in some way, sometime attention, sometime inadequate love, sometime expectation of a family can trigger some type of some sort of reinforcement in you to create some false character. That's not really Chanel, that's what it is. This card is about rebuilding yourself. You have to let go a lot of those things. You have to go back and reflect them. It's about this new beginning, inner awareness. The more you're aware of yourself, the better you can rebuild yourself. To let go all those influences, to find your authenticity. And that's what this expansion, the North Node, is about in astrology. Who is Chanel? What is offended to Chanel? Okay, this is the discipline, time. And then I have this last card, alchemy, magic, time. Everything takes time. Everything takes divine timing. I don't think you can anticipate anything. Chanel. Things have to happen in your life to realize. I mean, I can only say so much to you. I mean, I'm not here to channel your every single past. I'm not here to talk about your future because you have your own free will to decide how your future is going to be, what kind of path you're going to take. Do you want to continue to expand from the North Node, or you're going to get stuck in the South Node, the old pattern, the old you? But you certainly want to know about your North Node, right? What is real to you, Chanel? What is offended to you? So you won't have to stuck in those habitual pattern, so-called the influences, right? The rebuilding card. I'm talking about those reinforcement on you since the day you were born, So I'm not even talking about before this lifetime yet with you, okay? But that's gonna be a different story. But everything takes time. Everything just takes like so-called life cycle. We all go through life cycle. We all encountering things in life that's not avoidable. You can't isolate yourself from the human race. So therefore we have life event, we have encounter, we socialize. So things do happen. It then things do need to take time for you to realize Chanel, who is Chanel, for you to have you to open yourself up to more spiritual level instead of being stuck in the physical level of life, So that takes time. That takes like the right trigger. Perhaps it takes the right encounter. Perhaps it takes the right person to tell you something, oh, Chanel, do you know this is who you are? Do you know this is happening to you? Blah, blah, blah. Sometimes even people might say things indirectly, not about you, but when you hear it, but not realize, hey, maybe there's a spiritual sign. Try to nudge you to realize something. So you gotta pay attention. Yes, not only on the outside, but on your inside as well. What is really resonating to you, okay? So you gotta find the right balance. Don't try to just focus on the outside and forget on your inside, okay? So everything takes time. Timing is also about you. Are you seizing those opportunities in your day-to-day life as well to open up that inner awareness so you can expand toward your North Node? The alchemy magic, and you have it in you at your soul level, and that is your higher self. And as long as you can turn off your egoistic self, what is that egoistic self? It's like physical perspective of life, external reactions, external living that will cause people to have immediate gratification, not just immediate level, right? Could be moderate, could be a long term as well, like holding away for retirement, holding away for security, safety, whatever reason, because it's all driven for what? Physical survival. But does your soul need that? Probably not. But your physical body does. I mean, I'm not here to project like, oh, how long do you have living? When are you gonna die? Okay, that's not the case here. But what I'm trying to say is, if you're gonna keep focusing on your physical survival, you're gonna have hard time understanding your soul. Why does your soul move to a different realm after death, right? Yeah, that's reincarnation. So your soul already traveled from one lifetime to the next lifetime. You already been through lifetime. So why are you still struggling on this physical perspective of life? Sure, I'm not here to say, oh, just let it deteriorate and just die, don't eat and stop. I'm not saying that. That's extreme negativity. What I'm saying, that find the right balance to that. Okay. Find the right balance where you can do the basic care of your body. People go extreme, they do piercing of the body, piercing their tongue, piercing everywhere. Isn't the ears enough, but they have to pierce holes everywhere in the body. I mean, that's I'm giving you an extreme example of that, what people are doing out in the society. Find the right balance, take care of keep it clean, keep it healthy, exercise, eat healthy, in that regard, sleep well, but at the same time, you got to take care of your soul as well, you know, and that's where people neglect their own soul all the time, but they so focus on the body way excessively. That's causing the imbalance of this. They don't live their life with all aspect of their life. You need to look at body, mind, heart, and soul. Those are the aspect of your life. How well are you integrate each one of them? They're all interrelated. Doesn't matter what happened to your day to day, but make sure can you connect all four of them, whatever situation you're in, whatever you're feeling at that moment, can you connect all of them together to see it from this, a bigger pictures of it. So that way you're not narrow yourself down to just only the physical, the body, the living perspective. Okay. So this alchemy is trying to tell you, yeah, integration. Once you understand that, then you can grasp to discern, hey, the difference between dark and light, what is negative, what is positive. You can choose, you can alchemize it, turn that negativity into positivity by releasing those negativities, so you can end all of those negative practices. But it takes time, define timing. Take commitment, take determination, take courage to face your own darkness, to heal this. It takes time. It might fear, insecurity. It might take time. You might have decades of reinforcement by environment, by people to cause you to have this fear. Word for that safety thing, I need to feel safe, so therefore you react to the environment. But that's going to take some time to understand that. Everyone have their different life story. I mean, we all experiencing fear, but not understanding how to tie it back to where the origin of that fear. How does that fear has already mutated through all those reinforcement? Like I said, it could be from people, family, growing up, observation, education, jobs, environment, even war going on around this world. How safe do people feel? Why are we in fear? Because there's a war going on. And I'm just giving you some white example, real life examples, why we're living in fears. And that mutating so much, I mean, you got to look back to the beginning of that. It's going to take a lot of inner awareness. It's going to take a lot of reflections. Inner awareness, it needs to be built. Build this inner awareness every day. Every whatever trigger, whatever event triggering you gotta ask yourself and feel, not just ask, right? You gotta sense it. Let's use the term sense. How well do you sense your own emotions? How well can you tie that emotion back to what's triggering you, right? Maybe specific individual, maybe specific environment, maybe there's some false belief, maybe there's some standard. Maybe there's some pressure, social pressure happen as well, and then your inside might be nudging you, say, hey, that's not me, but this environment keep pressuring me to compromise. That's another example of that. But finding that it's a complex, takes time. Okay, but once you understand this, then you need to expand yourself, open your heart and soul to receive and embrace all of this. Is there any more you tell? I'm glad to end it here for you. May you find light from your spiritual guardian. This is a Twin Flame energy reading for Chanel. I'm getting a clover and a horizon card here. Feels like luck is on this Twin Flame pair. They are selling to this. I feel like there's a new horizon coming, a new beginning coming. Is this called, am I allowed to say it? Reunions. So are you aware you have a twin flame, Chanel? Or you just curious? So you're just curious about this reading, that's why you pick it? You have no awareness about you have a twin flame? So I hope people are not requesting this type of readings without taking a light path. Define order. Everything is in defined order. So you understand what is twin flame, right, Chanel? Two souls having the highest frequency match. There is no other soul or any other soul out there. This is given by the universe. Twin flames are on earth to ignite their unconditional love, to reverse all the darkness, to heal themselves, to be a light worker, to light up this darkness on earth. And you know how dark this world is, the way how human created the darkness. And I hope you're aware of that, your purpose of being a twin flame. There's divine order. Be patient. Everything's about divine timing. Cannot anticipate. Do you want me to go to a guidebook? So you should have spiritual sign with your twin flame. Like each one of you are on your own path to work on your own self, the inner work that you both have to do to release those negative emotions when you're being triggered. I hope you're aware of that. So cannot be rushed. This is not just about reconciliation. This is not just about reunion, but this is about how well are you healing yourself so far, you know. But I have to say there's no finish line in healings. Yeah, you both marry each other's. If you guys are not aware, you probably do. You know, if you're feeling the stubbornness energy in that, it's not just him, but I feel like you as well in some way, but from a different situation. So work on the judgment. You gotta release the judgment. You know, calling someone stubbornness is also come from negative points of view, come from this negative feeling. It's so-called judgment. You want to work on that as well, on releasing that. So don't judge the path of how that be. Sometimes inner work can be so subtle, so tiny fraction of it, each effort, but taking the advantage of every single day just to do that tiny little fraction of inner work can accumulate a lot in the futures. So I hope, yeah, so you guys have to let go of that judgment how inner work should be done. So let that go, okay? Chanel. I hope that this is like an enlightenment for you. But and the next one is about trust. Allow. Who is the all three of them? Listen, allow. None of the above. You want me to go guidebook? Let me see what's on the guidebook. I can find the page. The color code, everything. That is strange. Why does page 30? Intention. You want me to talk about intentions? Hmm. Whose intention? Does in the both of them need to understand the intention? Need to ask the intention. Listen to the intention. Allow what? Open? I think you both need to crack open your judgment because the judgment gets in the way, unable to understand the intention. Why do you all feel this way? Why do you all think this way? Why do you behave this way? Why do you make decision this way? Why do you process the way you process information this way? I'm talking about both of you here. And that's what that intention is trying to talk about in this guidebook. But you need to allow yourself to crack open. It's easy for me to say, why do you need to crack open? Because judgment get in the way. Judgment is coming from past experiences. You experience something, and then you're gonna start reacting to something familiar, similar in the future because of the past experience triggering you. So therefore, you keep reacting to that through this judgment. I'm not saying judgment is bad, but it's like an attachment. Judgment is like attachment. Discernment is different. Discernment is like open up to everything, not using the past, not using anything to see, to go out and explore what that is, then decide, okay, is this serving my greatest good or is not serving my greatest good, that I need to let that go. Do you see what I mean about discernment? Is this good for me or it's not? Okay. When I say it's good for you, it's coming from the light source. It has come from unconditional love source. It has come from compassion. It has come from forgiveness. When it's come from the darkness, it's come from fear, come from worry, come from hurry, come from anticipation, come from insecurity, come from hate, come from vengeance, come from regret, come from guilt. Do you see all those negative words that I'm telling you? Those are negative emotions. Even anticipation is a negative emotions. Why do people anticipate? Fear, security. They want to have a certain outcome, expectation. It's also it's come from negativities, discriminations, good thing. You know, all of that, even culture, a sample of culture. People are not realizing culture come from negativity. It nail you, trap you into a good thing to identify yourself who is Chanel, a human A, and the other side of the world is human B. But they don't allow you to see human ways as one ways, but yet they have to identify by culture, they have to identify by, you know by class, by color. Do you see what I mean? They enforcing segregation around this entire world, as simple as culture are doing that, and stop enjoying. I'm not saying we should enjoy culture, but they just don't realize how that are negatively enforcing segregation in peoples. So this is the intention, is trying to ask you both, to dive deeper, to understand your intention, how it is driving you to do just that. I'm just giving you just some fun example about culture, right? So let's move on to the last card, honor your agreement, mission emotions. Honor agreement 96. Repetitive life lessons. This is about soul lesson. I call it soul lesson, okay? Repetitions. You're gonna have to get used to being in cycles. Yeah, if you have to learn to let go of fear, you're gonna get triggered by fears through life events, and that's gonna happen, right? And you know it when you sense fears. If you've been triggered by this something to cause you to worry, and you know you're going through this repetitive cycle to learn the soul lessons. And I hope you're aware of that, Chanel. I mean, through feelings. And you know you're in cycles. Why do you need to be in cycle? To learn about your darkness. You don't learn about your darkness through triggers. How are you going to learn that you have the darkness? If you don't have that darkness, you don't practice it, then you won't be triggered by any circumstances wherever you encounter in life. Be aware of that, okay? So that's how you know you need to heal. That's how you know you still need to work on. Like I said before, a little effort goes a long way, right? I'm not just only talking about you, your twin flame counterpart in this reading as well. Same thing. That you both have to go through that. Sure, there are karmic patterns. Like me, some past life happens, causing a karmic patterns with specific individual in this lifetimes. Yeah, that happened as well, but don't look at karma as a negative way. Karma is an opportunity for you both to mend it, so you don't have to keep carrying the same karma over and over again. If you're not aware of that, what else can you do to mend? Right? You gotta have awareness first. And some people freak out, oh, it's karmic relationship, move away, stay away. Don't do that. That's a negative mindset. Negative people will think that way. But if you really understand about spiritual journey needed to heal negative emotion, you will embrace the karmic relationship. What does this situation, what does this individuals is triggering you, so you can understand your darkness, so you can pull that out to the surface and work on that healing, releasing, right? Yeah, people are stuck in emotional side of life and don't realizing that because they normalize emotions to be, like everybody else. I mean, that's why everybody got stuck in their, emotions, like a privilege. Oh, we're entitled to feel, we're entitled to have emotional reactions. But don't realizing, hey, those emotions are bad for your well-being. So why do you want to be entitled to that type of emotions? When there are true love, when there are unconditional love, when there are forgiveness, why are nobody wanted those type of emotion from the light source? Why do they choose the negative sides of emotions to live their life? That intention needs to be questioned. So there's a card about the intention right here. And so I think your guardian is like, hey, making sure you guys are questioning the intention. Don't get stuck like everybody else. When you're having emotional trigger, embrace it and do the immediate release. Little effort goes on always. Do not think that you can just release fear in a day, in a week, or in a month. It might take years. Sometimes some trauma takes decades to realize, because the complexity of how this world has it reinforced negativity in you since the day you're born, including the past life that I have not really mentioned here in this reading, right? So anything else that honor your agreements? You both are having soul contract to be on this twin flame journey. You both are light workers to ignite your own unconditional love through unconditional self-love. Well, I hope you're hearing the word unconditional over and over again. You both need to discern how you have conditioning your life. And I already gave some fun example in the readings as well already about conditioning. Anything else about that? Work on detaching them, not to defer them through good feeling. Good feeling, it's not a way to heal. A lot of people like to defer to something else on the outside to think that, oh, a good feeling, I'm healed. That is not something to watch out for, Chanel, and whoever your twin fam is, okay? Anything else about that you want me to emphasize? Healing through darkness is to crack open your heart and soul. If it's painful, let it out. Feel what is the pain coming from. If it's fear, pour it out to feel what that fear is coming from. It could have been enforced in so many ways for so long. Anything else about that? Yes, release it through love. When you're lost, let unconditional love in your heart and soul. Let forgiveness do the release as well. When it comes to compassion, make sure it's come from light compassions, not the isolated one, not the personal preference one. Light and dislight are also a type of darkness. The more you prefer certain thing over another, it's going to cause segregation as well. And that's what causing things to divide in this world. Anything else for Chanel here? I'm glad to end here. May you both find light from your spiritual guardian. Human introspection reading for Christians. Guided to use this white Newman tarot for you. Have here King of Swords and Queen of Swords. Getting stubbornness. Your stubbornness is too fixated on your ideas of standards that you put on yourself and others. The next one is the Queen of Swords. I'm just seeing you are ignoring something here. What somebody else is trying to say to you. Perhaps you already formed the impressions of those specific individuals. So therefore you're not hearing what that person is trying to say to you. It's like you are feeling instead of hearing. You're using your own emotion to hear what that person's trying to say to you. So therefore you're lacking clarity. And at the same time, you're misinterpreting it because you're feeling the words, not hearing the words. So those are the two things that you need to work on, to reflect on, to see if you can start releasing them, to let them go. Perhaps there's some underlying issue that you're having that you're not realizing why you're so fixated on certain standard and why you're using emotion to hear words, causing misinterpretation of what that person's trying to say to you. Anything else I need to? No, I'm glad. And hear me find light from your spiritual guardian.